all the time and continually. And you know, it's a question whether or not it's going to get to the same point, but there is the same routine discrimination against diversified, sustainable, organic, pasture-based, direct-to-market, alternative agriculture going on. And there are people who are gathering files of the rejections of the FSA, which is the federal lender that we all go to get farm loans. So who are these young farmers that we're talking about? I'm going to just give you a couple of stories to show you where the sector is developing. That's Lindsay and Courtney. Lindsay used to be a lawyer. She's now working at Essex Farm, which produces a full diet CSA. They do chickens, pork, they do poultry, they do eggs, meat, milk, raw milk, yogurt, butter, all your vegetables, all your beans, all your salt, all your flour, all your firewood, all your lard, for $3,000 a year, and you choose whatever you want. And that's a horse-powered farm. That's right next to my house.
What's the name of that?
Essex Farm. And Courtney, so the CSA and increasingly the full diet CSA, where you're really capturing the maximum amount of market potential from the customer base that you build, is happening, you know, in a like all-in-one context, but also happening more in an aggregate, like I do the eggs, you do the butter, she does the cheese, he has the flowers. There's also a frozen fish guy, and then there's a lady down the street with the honey. And so then there's this kind of associative, cooperative marketing going on.
What's CSA?
Yeah, CSA.
What does that mean?
Community-supported agriculture. So it's like a box. Maybe I shouldn't assume so much. Okay, good point. The lady here is from Weston A. Price Foundation. A major driver for us in terms of the new businesses that are getting started is around pasture-based meat production. So Courtney is a butcher, and she raises and does mixed sausage and sells sausage at the farmer's market, and meat, beef.
Where is that located?
Her farm is also in the Adirondacks. These two are colleagues. Another major growth is in the young rancher section. We have a lot of people inspired by Alan Savory and the Soil Carbon team who are entering in as ranchers. This is my friend Tim. He's starting a farm out in southern New York now. He's in the new movement of horse-drawn farmers. There's a lot of urban ag and bicycle-powered people in our tribe. A lot of social justice-oriented urban farmers, and then peri-urban farmers serving that suburban affluent market with farmers markets. You're supposed to notice there's a bike helmet in that slide. But vegetables are really the primary way that we're getting into the marketplace for low startup costs, low input costs, less mechanized, high value, fresh, perishable, organic baby greens is like the marijuana of our movement. Land access for people who are going into more diversified meat and more extensive land needs. This is Adam and Paula. They're in beautiful Mendocino County, where actually marijuana is the marijuana of everywhere. They're growing their sheep underneath the wine grapes of a bunch of hedge funders. They actually have 7 different landlords. So they graze their sheep underneath the wine. They graze their beef in the bottomland. They irrigate, and the barter that they do is they make biodynamic compost for the vineyard. So that's what they're doing. They're stirring. Magic. So land access is a major challenge. Another major challenge is this guy. He's so great. But we just have a really big problem with political loggerheads right now in the U.S. I'm sure you've heard about it. The USDA is our Department of Agriculture, and the Farm Bill, which is every 5 years. I think it's like your programs. They go every 5 years. We have a new renewal. And it's been delayed now by 18 months, more now. So all the programs are like frozen or in extension. Everyone's panicking. And the one that we counted on the most, which is the Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development Program that started in 2009, and really put a boost into the Beginning Farmers Service Network, all the institutions and organizations who are working to support beginning farmers. that money is on pause. It's $27 million a year. I have a list of other programs, but so if you're a policy wonk and you want to know some of the stuff that exists and how it's working on the ground, I'd love to take time to talk about that. The major issue that they're fighting over, by the way, is food stamps, because we have such a problem of hunger in the United States. And in fact, most people who are in farm worker jobs, especially in the apprenticeship stage, are taking food stamps in the winter. So if they're trying to stop them out, the Republicans want to cut it by, well, the Senate wants to cut it by $34 billion, the food stamp program, and the other ones only want to cut it by $8 billion. But we have historically high rates of food stamp. Okay, back to the positive. Sorry. This is a movement. The Grange movement is an interesting, resurgent institution of potential. For us as young farmers, we, the Greenhorns, have had a lot of events in these Grange halls, which are basically fraternal clubhouses for farmers that were started in the 1860s as a educational and social and moral order. They rose to power as the sentiment of the farmers against the railroad was growing. So here you see the angry farmer who may have even invested in the railroad, now finding himself, just a, what's it called?
Railroaded.
He's railroaded. He's railroaded. So they rose to 2.5 million people in the Grange movement in the 1870s and 80s. Explosive political strength, which then kind of got captured in a campaign to get a farmer's currency, to have free silver. Because they understood that that the capitalists on the East Coast were controlling the railroads and setting unfair rates, so that then their family farm economy was imperiled by these monopolists, and they understood that their family farm economy was the only way to have a righteous